In the world of themed entertainment, there exists a unique tension between the pristine, perfect story presented to the guest and the complex, often messy reality required to build it. No project embodies this tension more than Walt Disney's original vision for EPCOT.
It will be a community of tomorrow that will never be completed. It will always be introducing and testing and demonstrating new materials and new systems.
A dream of a perfect city that was, perhaps, destined to remain a dream. In my last video, I explored how the independent musical Dis-topia inadvertently mirrored the ideological clash at the heart of EPCOT's conception. Now, I go deeper. I turn to the actors themselves, the people tasked with breathing life into this complex world. Their journeys to find the truth in their characters reveal a parallel story, one of avoiding caricature, embracing collaboration, and discovering that the most powerful magic comes not from a single visionary or one man's dream, but from the shared heartbeat of a community. To understand the soul of Dis-topia, you have to understand the people who poured their own into it. This is the story of how they didn't just perform a musical, they lived its central message. On the surface, the characters of Dis-topia could easily become stereotypes. The tyrannical visionary, the wide-eyed idealist, the cynical rebel. But for the actors, the first and most crucial step was to dismantle those archetypes and find the flawed, beating heart within. For Mitchell, portraying a figure as iconic as Walt Disney meant starting with the man himself.
My initial approach to portraying Walt Disney had a lot to do with researching the real guy, and seeing if I could synthesize the stuff that I learned about the real man with this fictional version of him. So I tried to learn about the real Walt Disney's history, his childhood, his career, his aspirations for EPCOT just before he died, his politics, his values. And after getting a good sense of that, I then tried to sort of imbue this version of him, this fictional version of him, with as much of the real deal as possible.
This commitment to reality was shared by the whole cast. Mia, who portrayed the ever-positive Vera, knew she had to look beyond the bright and bubbly surface to find something an audience could connect with.
I wanted to avoid more than anything making Vera into a caricature of something, into the caricature of, I'm a bright Disney adult with nothing under no light under my eyes, and just a completely fake person. And that's something that I was really blessed to have been exposed to when I was in high school. My acting teacher, Nancy Facchiola, she was always like, no matter what character you're playing, no matter how evil or ridiculous they are, they're still a person and they have their intentions, and you have to find that truth within the crazy. So I really just tried to find a truth, and I really just wanted to not make her into someone who was lacking of substance.
Even for the story's most aggressive character, the revolutionary Cats, finding that truth was essential. Nat knew that for an audience to follow Cats on their journey, there had to be more than just anger.
I really love cats. I do. I don't think I would like them. I don't think we'd hang out. I don't think we'd get along that well. But I love them nonetheless, because I know how their brain works, or at least how my brain works inside their brain. And it's the kind of thing where it is coming from a good place. Whether or not they want to admit that, especially not in the beginning, because it is coming from a deep compassion for others. From I was hurt, people treated me poorly, and I don't want to see that happen to anybody else. And they dress it up as like snarky comments and destruction of property, but they mean it with their whole heart.
This search for humanity was nurtured by a production environment that stood in stark contrast to the world depicted on stage. Walt Disney's Epcot was designed to be the product of a singular vision. The creation of Dis-topia, however, was the polar opposite. Mitchell describes it as an experience that was fundamentally anti-auteur theory.
Dis-topia is not the work of a singular person's vision. I mean, it was crafted by Deegan and Robbie Good and Abigail Corrence, and then they kept that spirit of community and collaboration going into, you know, the cast, into the technicians, into the promotion of the thing. And I think that is appropriate because the show itself is kind of shows, one of the themes anyway of the show is the dangers of a singular vision trying to control everything and tell people what to do and not listening to anybody.
The spirit of community was felt most profoundly by those who were new to the group. Mia recalls her initial nervousness about joining a cast of people who were already so close.
I got to be like, oh my god, these people are so goofy and they're all so close. I am so nervous. I just had to kind of be like, okay, I'm goofy too, but I gotta show them I'm goofy in a way. I wanted to kind of prove myself. I wanted to be like, I can hang too, guys. I'm cool too. But what I didn't anticipate was that it's not hard to be accepted by good people. So I truly had nothing to worry about because the people of that cast are the least cliquey, the least pretentious, and the least exclusive or exclusionary people I've ever met. I had no reason to worry.
This environment didn't just build friendships, it built the show itself. The creative team actively incorporated the cast's contributions, allowing the performers to leave their fingerprints on the final product.
Often enough, I think we all, I guess as a cast, but especially the more major characters, really left their imprint on it. Because when you're the writer and the director and you see your actors working on something and they say something really good, you have the tendency, I know I've done this many times, to be like, I'm stealing that, thank you, that's mine now. That will live in the script forever now. The script, it wasn't major overarching changes, but those tiny little pinpoints of personality and comedy and all that stuff was really like the fingerprint in the wet cement from the cast. I think there's enough to say it made an impact, but we didn't change the script. It's still the spirit of it, just kind of going a little further.
Within this collaborative space, the actors could explore the immense weight their characters carried, a weight that directly mirrors the burdens of the real-life figures Dis-topia examines. Every character is clinging to a reality that makes them feel safe. For Walt, that reality was control. Mitchell found a painful relatability in the isolation that comes from that obsession. I mean, there's plenty in Walt's controlling nature that I related to. I mean, while he was obsessing over Epcot, he didn't really socialize with anybody. He turned down invitations for parties and social gatherings. He didn't really have any other hobbies. Just day and night, it was just Epcot, Epcot, Epcot. My legacy, my legacy, my legacy. I used to be very obsessed with my legacy, and that was very detrimental to my mental health, and it ruined a lot of friendships, I'm sorry to say. And it took a lot of work for me to kind of untie myself from that. And really, it was getting more involved as an actor and finding myself in these families, these artistic families that got me to sort of open up and be more excited by that community aspect of creating art. For Vera, the weight comes from her idealism cracking under the pressure of a harsh truth. That moment of breakdown, as Mia describes it, isn't just about a disillusioning hero. It's about the terror of being completely
If you
and
really
utterly
step
alone.
into her shoes at this moment, she's lost her hero. She's lost this like obsession that she has with Disney, which has comforted her. But more than that, far greater than that, she has lost both of her parents. Her mom's like long dead, and she doesn't know where her dad is, if he's sane, if he's like alive, and also whether or not he's just betrayed her. So she feels so utterly helpless and alone, and that's a feeling that's really, really terrifying, because I've felt that way before. Like kind of accessing that was really, really important. And also, when you get to just cry and scream on stage, it's the best feeling in the world. It's so therapeutic. So it was one of my favorite moments of the show, actually. Like that, and the laugh wasn't planned. I just did that because I was like, I think she thinks she's ridiculous, and she's also ashamed and like, just like heavily disgusted with herself at the moment too.
So what is the ultimate lesson from Dis-topia? For the actors who lived inside the world, the takeaways are as nuanced as their performances. For Nat, it's a hope that the show fosters a deeper respect for the people who are the true foundation of any magical place.
If this show can just get someone to go like, oh, the people that are taking out the trash at Disneyland are a key component to the operation and deserve to be treated with respect and paid according to their worth, I'll take that as a win. That is a win as far as I'm concerned, is someone, even a sliver of class consciousness, if you can derive that from this show. Because that's Kat's goal, and I guess that's my goal too.
For Mia, it's a lesson in resilience and how we carry the things that inspire us into a complicated world.
Honestly, the power of hope and of kindness. Life is really shitty a lot of the time, and so when it just kicks you over and over again, you know it will get better, and then it will get worse, but it will always get better again before it gets worse.
And perhaps that is the final, most resonant truth of Dis-topia. Mitchell saw the show's very existence as a lesson in what's possible when you let go of ego and embrace the group.
Something poignant that can be taken from the show, like its existence, is that it's possible to make things like this. You know, if you have an idea for a show, for a musical or an album or a play or a film, see what happens when you share that idea with others and give them a chance to bring their own selves and their own ideas to it. It might build up into something, you know, beyond what you could have imagined on your own.
The show's greatest success is that its creation mirrored its message. It proved that when you build something not from a single isolated vision, but from a foundation of community, trust, and shared passion, you can achieve something extraordinary. You can create a place, if only for a few hours on a stage, that is truly a happy place, because everyone gets to make it together.